Before you move forward in your life, redeemed one, there is something I need you to comprehend. It's the thing you've been dreading, the burden you've been carrying, and the internal dialogue you've been having about whether you still love me in light of everything that has transpired. I don't want you to bear that burden. Instead, I would like to give you what you have been most terrified of getting. There is a part of you that does not yet think you are deserving of anything this wonderful, not because you are afraid of failure or adversity. Furthermore, I want to give you more than just a blessing. I want to return your life to you, not a version of your existence that calls on you to be someone you're not at this moment. It's not a life that starts after you've cleaned yourself up, figured out who you are, or finally found a solution to a long-standing issue. Regaining your life. I'm going to start now, right here. You have been living in the aftermath of decisions, seasons, and wounds that have left their marks in the midst of chaos, uncertainty, and all the unanswered questions. You made some of those marks yourself. Others were carved into you by people who ought to have loved you more, by situations that seemed to be meant to break you, and by unexpected and unrepentant losses. You started telling yourself a story somewhere amid the accumulation of all those markings. Because it was attempting to shield you from more hope that could result in more disappointment, the story was initially quiet, seemingly reasonable, and even kind. This is just who you are now, it said. You deserve this. Fresh starts are not given to people like you. Individuals who have failed in the same manner as you are not allowed to stand in the light once more. That tale developed gradually. It wasn't until it started to feel less like a story and more like a fact, less like something you were telling yourself, and more like something that reality itself had told you, supported by experience and facts, that you realized how big it was growing. I am talking to you now because of that story. Since that narrative is untrue, and since the truth of who I am and who you are within me is so much greater, so much more genuine, and so much more potent than any lie your past has created around you, I will not allow that deception to continue influencing your life. I need you to hear this truth, not as a religious statement that you file with the other words of support you've received over the years, not as something cozy to accept in the present and then abandon when it's over. I want you to hear this as the most profound and unwavering truth of your life. It's right here. I still feel the same way about you. Never once. Not when you're at your lowest. Not when you're feeling the most embarrassed. Not at the time when you assured yourself that I wouldn't notice, wouldn't care, or had already given up on you and found someone more devoted to invest in. I observed. I was concerned. I remained. I continued to love you, not for a single breath. Not for a single heartbeat, not in the dark when you were positive I was gone, not in the quiet when I didn't feel like I was speaking at all. Your performance is not a requirement of my love for you. And your mistakes don't take it away. It is not a commodity that you gain by acting morally or lose by acting immorally. It serves as the cornerstone of everything. You are currently being held up by it beneath you, even if you're unable to sense it, even if you don't think it exists, and even if the evidence seems to indicate it never existed at all. The love that humans have for one another is not the same as the love I have for you. Real and valuable, but finite, exhaustible, contingent, and able to run out or leave. My love is not human love on a supernatural scale. It is very different from anything you have encountered in interpersonal relationships. Human love is when someone loves you to the point where they are unable to give without getting. Carrying out the actions of human love. They have a limit, so it has a limit. However, I have no boundaries. There is no end to what I am. What I offer comes from an endless supply. And since before you were born and throughout every aspect of your life, my love for you has been one of the things I have given without restriction, without condition, and without the slightest chance of tiredness. Let me explain this in more detail. It wasn't when you first prayed that I fell in love with you. When you originally came to me, professed your faith, or did the right thing, it wasn't active. Even before you took your first breath, I loved you. In the eternal place where I live outside of time, before the cells that would become you were formed, prior to the beginning of time itself, you were someone I knew, Not just any old version of you. In particular, you, your voice. The exact shape of the wound that has been most difficult to heal. The way you laugh, the specific quality of your longing, the particular texture of your anxiety, the precise nature of your ability for love. I loved everything, and I knew everything. The choice to love you was made before any of the situations that you believe should determine whether or not you deserve to be loved, even before it existed and there was a you to love. This implies that none of the things you have done since then, failures, wrong turns, betrayals of what you knew was right, moments when you put your own needs ahead of what I asked of you, times when you let someone down, promises you made that you were unable to fulfill, and hidden things you are most ashamed of, were taken into account in a way that changed the basic choice. The decision was made in a location outside of time, and events that take place within time cannot go back in time and alter the decision made there. We adore you. You were cherished. You will continue to get unconditional love. When the son took his inheritance and spent it on things that made him feel empty and embarrassed, the father in the old tale did not love him any less. The inheritance was wasted. The funds had vanished. The son was left feeding pigs and contemplating the meals the servants in his father's home were consuming after the life he had attempted to create outside of it had utterly fallen apart. The story was finished from the son's point of view. The affection was lost. Because of his own decisions and actions, the relationship was irreparably damaged. He had destroyed what his father had given him. By requesting his inheritance early, he had, in the words of his culture, wished his father dead. He had essentially stated, "The future you represent for me is less valuable than the money you represent for me right now." In favor of the resources, he had turned down the connection. After that, he had wasted those two resources. The love ought to have been consummated by all logical calculations. The father ought to have been done by all rational, just, and self-preservation standards. However, the distance did not lessen the love. The embarrassment did not make it shrink. The money, dignity, relationships, and opportunities that the son had thrown away did not expire. The love just bided its time. When the son eventually turned around, he was still practicing the speech he was going to deliver about being unworthy of son status and requesting to be treated more like a hired servant. From a distance, the father observed him. The father had been waiting to give the verdict while standing with his arms crossed and watching the road, not as a form of punishment. The father had been observing the road, since that's what love does when its beloved is gone. And the father did not wait till the son's shape could be seen from a distance. He took off running. I want you to think on that detail. He ran for a very long time, because powerful individuals did not run in ancient cultures. They had no business running. It was undignified to run. It was not the conduct of powerful men, but rather that of servants and children. It was an act of great self-giving for a man of this father's stature to rush, hoist his robes, and bodily run down a public road towards someone who had publicly humiliated him and squandered everything he had contributed. He was prepared to appear stupid. He was prepared to compromise his honor. The sight of his child returning was more important to him than any reputation he could uphold by being calm and motionless. He was willing to make a spectacle of himself in front of everyone. When you turn back to face me, I feel that way. I'm not relieved that you finally changed your mind. Not proof that my perseverance paid off in the end. Not a respectful acknowledgement nod. While you were away, I ran the entire distance that separated us. I take care of it myself. I don't require you to walk all the way back to me from wherever you ended up. On the road I meet you. I will keep your distance covered. I fill the void. Additionally, I reach you before you have completed the speech you were working on. I reach out to you before you have made your case for being granted servant status. I reach you while you're still making the well-crafted case why you don't deserve to be a son, and I break it up with an embrace that renders the argument moot. They prepared the feast, the ring for his finger, the sandals for his feet, and the robe they laid on him. None of those actions were indicative of someone granting servant status to someone who had proven to be undeserving. My affection is not seasonal. Your consistency toward me has been flawed and will remain flawed. Therefore, it is truly fantastic news that my commitment to you is independent of your consistency. However, I won't be inconsistent with you. It will be finished. It will be complete. It will always be there in every aspect of your life, without fail, interruption, or exception. You will be more than fine. In ways you have not yet known, you will become entire. You're going to thrive in unexpected ways. On the other side of this season, you will discover that the waiting was worthwhile, the struggle was worthwhile, and the perseverance was worthwhile. I will be there when you get there, just as I have been with you throughout the entire road that led you there. You will reach a place that makes every moment of the journey worthwhile. Amen. If this message has made you feel better, share it with someone who needs to know that their prayers have been heard. To commemorate this moment of faith, leave a remark below with the word Amen. To ensure that you never miss a word that God has planned to speak over your life, subscribe and enable notifications. You're not by yourself. Here, a complete community has made the decision to trust, believe, and receive. Return each day. I'll be here to give you a new word.